As I wrap up another incredible year of Chat Off the Mat, I find myself sitting here reflecting on the profound journey we've shared together. When I first pressed record on that very first episode, I couldn't have imagined the beautiful tapestry of healing wisdom and community that would emerge. Today, I want to take some time to really dive deep into what this year has meant, not just for the podcast, but for the broader conversation about healing and transformation. This year has been transformative in ways I never expected. You know, it's funny how growth often happens in the spaces between our plans, in those unexpected moments of insight that come from a casual conversation with a guest, or in the comments from our listeners that make us see things in a completely new light. This podcast has grown not just in numbers, but in depth, in understanding, and in the richness of our conversations. To our amazing guests, each of you has brought something uniquely powerful to the conversations. The Reiki masters who've shared how energy healing can bridge the gap between traditional medicine and holistic wellness. The Qigong practitioners who've taught us about the profound connection between movement, breath, and healing. The yoga teachers who've shown us how ancient wisdom can address modern stress and anxiety. The art therapists, psychics, and mediums who've helped us understand that healing often extends beyond the physical realm. Each of you has contributed to a greater understanding of what healing truly means in our modern world. You know, one of the most beautiful things I've witnessed this year is how different healing modalities can work together, creating a more complete picture of wellness. I've had episodes where practitioners from different traditions found common ground, where ancient practices were validated by modern science, and where new healing techniques emerged from the blending of different approaches. This kind of collaboration and cross pollination of ideas is exactly what the healing community needs right now. Speaking of change and transformation, let's talk about that for a moment. This year has taught me that growth often requires us to step out of our comfort zones. I've learned that sometimes the most powerful healing happens when we're willing to try something new, to look at our challenges from a different perspective. We've had guests who've completely transformed their practices and their lives by incorporating new modalities, who have looked at things differently, who have found healing in unexpected places, and who've had the courage, and I repeat, the courage to share both their successes and their struggles. I want to share a personal story about transformation. For me, this year has been about being a guest on other podcasts and sharing my personal healing stories and how I reinvented myself and began the journey on this path to helping others. It has also been about writing my book and getting it to an editor finally with the intention of publishing it in 2025. For me, it's also been about learning what I need to let go of. Really important. Got to let go of things that no longer serve my greatest and highest good and finding the courage, once again, the courage to forge new paths. Sometimes growth isn't comfortable, and it hasn't been, but it's always worth it, especially when we're pursuing growth and aligning with our most authentic self. One of the most exciting developments this year has been how this community has embraced new ways of healing. We've explored sound healing, art therapy, plant spirit Reiki. We've explored grief counseling, how to deal with narcissistic relationships. We've explored so many different ways to look at what can help us, what can guide us, what can change our lives, what can make our lives better. Maybe some of these things are unconventional now, maybe they were just a few years ago. Maybe they still seem a little woo woo to some, but be open because you never know what's on the other side of that. We need to embrace change and we need to really, really be open to new possibilities, to new things, to new ways of doing things. That is what allows for that quantum leap of transformation to occur, not just within ourselves, but within the entire world. And we always try to honor traditional wisdom. It's been there forever. Why change that now? Let's honor it and let's allow it to really emerge the way it's supposed to be. Not in just pockets where only a few people are practicing certain things, like Qigong, for example, something that's been around for so many years. It's just starting to emerge here in the US. We're going to change that, right? We're going to allow for these new modalities, quote unquote, new modalities, to really step forward. And I hope people will embrace them. On the podcast, I'll continue to have segments that focus on practical application. Of course, we always need that, and how to integrate different healing modalities into daily life, how to develop your own healing gifts. For example, how to tap into your own intuition, that inner guidance that's always there, and we forget about it. How to navigate the challenges that come with personal transformation. When we change, things change. Others may change, may not change, but we need to know how to navigate that. To the listeners, your willingness to explore these different paths, to ask questions, to share your own experiences, it's been incredible. I've received messages from people who tried Qigong for the first time after listening to an episode and found it life changing. From those who finally understood their empathic abilities after hearing from our psychic guests. From skeptics who became believers after experiencing the power of energy healing firsthand. The growth I've seen in this community has been nothing short of remarkable. I've started with just a handful of listeners, and now we have people tuning in from all over the world, each bringing their own perspective and experience to our collective understanding of healing. Your questions have become more nuanced, your insights deeper, and your willingness to engage with new ideas more apparent with each episode. I'd love for you to take a moment right now, wherever you are, to reflect on your own journey this past year. You know you are a different person than you were at the beginning of the year. So, what discoveries have you made about yourself? What new healing modalities have you explored? Perhaps you tried Reiki for the first time or started a daily meditation practice. Maybe you discovered your own healing gifts or found the courage to share them with others. Take a deep breath and really sit with the magnitude of your own growth. Now think about the challenges you faced and overcome. Those moments of doubts that turned into breakthrough. The synchronicities that led you exactly to the right teacher or healing practice at exactly the right time. Your growth is part of our collective evolution. And I honor wherever you are on your path. Looking ahead at 2025, I can barely contain my excitement about what's to come. I have some amazing and groundbreaking episodes planned that will challenge our understanding of healing and wellness. I'll be exploring the intersection of technology and traditional healing practices, diving into emerging modalities that blend ancient wisdom with modern science, and creating more opportunities for our community to connect and learn from each other. I believe 2025 will be a year of unprecedented growth and discovery in the healing arts. We're seeing more openness to alternative healing methods than ever before, more research validating traditional practices, and more people awakening to their own healing potential. Chat Off the Mat will be at the forefront of these developments, bringing you voices and perspectives that challenge, inspire, and empower. Remember that transformation and growth are not always linear. Sometimes they spiral, sometimes they leap, sometimes they have to stand still. But each step, each experience, each moment of learning contributes to our collective evolution as healers and human beings. Now, as we stand on the threshold of a new year, I invite you to join me in a moment of reflection and intention setting. Let's take a deep breath. Let's create some space for what we want to call in for 2025. What healing practices come to mind that you would like to explore? What gifts within yourself are ready to be developed? Maybe you're feeling called to deepen your existing practice. Perhaps there's a completely new modality that's been catching your attention. What would it feel like to fully commit to your healing journey this year? I invite you to set 3 intentions for your healing journey in 2025. They don't have to be grand gestures or dramatic changes. It could be as simple as committing to 5 minutes of morning meditation or Qigong practice, or finally booking a session with that person or that healer who's going to help you work through some early childhood or inner childhood experiences that you may be struggling with, or maybe something that you're really passionate about that you want to start. It doesn't have to be in the healing modalities. It could be a hobby. It could be anything. Think about what those intentions are. Now feel those intentions in your body. Place them in your heart. Place them in your solar plexus. Place them in your third eye. Place them in your entire being. Really feel them in the body. Make them a part of you. Make them a part of your energy. Our intentions are not set in stone. They're a seed that's planted within, and with careful attention, they'll grow. They may not grow the way you feel that they need to grow, but they'll surface in the way that's best for you. The future is bright, bright with possibility. I'm honored to continue this journey with all of you. And until our next conversation or our chat, maybe you'll embrace change with courage, seek growth with curiosity, and walk your healing path with an open heart. May your intentions for 2025 blossom into beautiful realities. And to our future guests, I can't wait to share your wisdom. To listeners, thank you for being a part of this journey of discovery and growth. To the healing community at large, thank you for continuing to push boundaries, for staying open to new possibilities, for holding space for transformation in all its forms. As we close this year, I want to express my deepest gratitude for every person who has contributed to this podcast, the guests who've shared their wisdom, the listeners who've opened their hearts and minds, and to my family and friends who've supported me. Each of you is a part of this beautiful tapestry of healing and growth we're weaving together. Thank you all so much. Wishing you a beautiful, abundant, happy, and healthy 2025.